Welcome back to the Goku Report for a new box office history list. This time we are looking at the DCEU films. Yeah, I talked about Man of Steel prior, but I'll be talking about Man of Steel again with this, since it was the first of the DCEU movies. So with that said, we have multiples. Don't expect a lot of box office for Wonder Woman 84 since it was more focused for streaming service only. So with that said, let's get to it. First of the DCEU films we have, of course, Man of Steel, which was released in 2013. Hard to believe it's been like 8 years since Man of Steel came out. Rated PG-13 with a budget of $225 million, of course, directed by Zack Snyder. Um, and total box office, it would do 43.6% of its total box office would be from the United States. It would do $291,045,518. Total worldwide, Man of Steel would end up doing $668,045,518. So, needless to say, it actually did pretty good for the most part at the box office. For a first installment, that's not bad. And it's still by far the most successful solo Superman film. Next, we have the controversial and very divisive, polarizing movie that is Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. Released in 2016, I was not a big fan of the original theatrical version of the game, or game movie, but I like the extended edition. I actually think it's a lot better because it fixed a lot of the pacing and editing issues. I think at least several issues I have with it got fixed. But it was released with a PG-13 with a $250 million budget, which is kind of ridiculous how expensive some movies are nowadays. They need to just stop spending that much. Domestically, it would do 37.5%. Domestically, it would end up doing $330,360,194. Worldwide box office. Now, some people consider it probably disappointing because they were hoping to do like over $1 billion, but it did $873,637,528. So yeah, it did a little over 870 million. Not bad, but on a 250 million budget plus, who knows how much they spent on marketing. So when you add all those contributing factors, it's not quite as successful as you would think. Plus, compared to what it probably should have done, but still, it did pretty good. Then we would go later the same year, 2016. We would see the release of one of my biggest guilty pleasure movies that I personally like a lot, more than most people. That being Suicide Squad, released at the end of 2016, PG-13, with a budget of 175 million, so 75 million less. And I think I really enjoyed it, even if it did have the overused sky beam. Domestically, it did 43.5%. It did $325,100,054. Worldwide, this still remains one of the most successful films. Worldwide, Suicide Squad did $746,846,894. So it was very successful, needless to say, which amazes me. Suicide Squad did a lot better than I thought it would, but I was happy it did. But yet today, people don't seem to remember it as highly as other films, which is a shame. I mean, yeah, I'll admit the soundtrack is one of the big things for me, but I really liked, honestly, Will Smith in it, of his more stereotypical action type role. But I thought Will Smith was good and saw in the film, and I personally, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Jared Leto Joker, I was willing to give him a shot compared to a lot of people out there. I just don't like Jared Leto as a person. But with that said, next we have Wonder Woman released in 2017. The first like major solo role for, of course, the actress at the time, Gal Gadot. It was PG-13 with a budget of 149 million. Domestically, it would do 50.2%. It would do $412,815,408. Very good. Worldwide, Wonder Woman would end up doing $822,303,505. So Wonder Woman was very highly successful and arguably the most liked among movie critics of all the DCEU films. It's a great film. I'll admit, from a quality perspective, it's definitely a lot better, but I was not the biggest fan of just how they portrayed and did Ares in the film. That's just one of the things. I felt the third act kind of was a real downgrade after the first and second acts. Next, we have, of course, the very much more disliked than probably liked original theatrical release of Justice League, released in 2017, PG-13. Budget unknown, but it was estimated to be around $300 million, which is crazy. Domestically, it only did 34.8%. It did $229,024,295. Worldwide, Justice League would end up doing only $657,929,987. So yeah, Justice League did not do great. It broke even. It didn't really make much of a profit though, when you consider that it made just about twice what it cost to make it. Plus add in marketing and everything, and yeah, it didn't make a profit at all for studio. Now, the Snyder Cut I have yet to actually watch, and I do need to get around to watching it eventually. Um, then we have arguably my personal favorite of the DCEU, released in 2018, PG-13, and that is Jason Momoa, Aquaman. Even though I don't like the actress who played the second major star, and of course the future wife of Aquaman, just because, well, let's just say, I'm just going to quickly say, justice for Johnny. That's all I'm going to say. But, yeah, I have a budget of $220 million. Domestically, it made 29.2% of its box office. Aquaman made $335,061,807. And worldwide, by far the most successful. It did $1,148,485 and $485,886 total. Then we have, I think, the somewhat underrated film, very good quality done, executed. That being 2019 film Shazam. PG-13 with a budget of $100 million. Domestically, 38.4% of its box office. It did $140,371,656. Worldwide, it would only do $365,971,656. Then we come to the last one, Wonder Woman 84, released 2020. Then budget unknown. Domestically, 27% of its box office. It did 43,618,000. Worldwide, it would do 161,318,000. But during COVID, that's no real surprise. So, I have to forgive it, but arguably the most successful is Aquaman. Now, for me, Aquaman is my personal favorite DCU film, and eventually I'll get around to probably ranking from best to worst all the DCU films, and then you'll know my perspective on that. But with that said, I'll see y'all next time. Stay safe. Hopefully you enjoyed the retro wave music in the background, and I'll see you soon enough. See you next time on the Goku Report.